I'm Hannah Evison, and this is my hot takes on uni or no uni. So when I was at college at 16, 17, there really was no conversation around whether we'd be going to uni or not. It was more, what uni will you be going to? I went to Sir John Dean's College in Northwich, which is a relatively academic college. So when the conversation came up about what uni I'd be going to, I decided I wanted to just do a course of something that I really enjoyed. And I've been dancing all of my life and been on stage all of my life, doing musical theatre. So I decided to go to Liverpool John Moores and study dance. And when I got there, I quite quickly realised that sitting in a classroom for 4 more years just was not for me. I felt as if I'd been almost pushed down that path from the college. There was no real conversations around other options. It was like I say, it was uni or it was more which uni rather than whether you go to uni at all. And when I got to uni, I thought I need to stick this out. When the course that I went on to, you had to pay regardless of whether you were there or not for the full year. It was a very tricky course to get onto, and if you took someone's space, you had to pay for the whole year. So I stuck at it for a full term, and it got to sort of Christmas time, and I decided I just can't go back. I can't go back to school after Christmas. It felt like I've been doing it for such a long time, and I was ready to get out there into the world of work. So I sat my parents down and said, I don't think this is for me. And I honestly expected them to be devastated. I thought they were going to be heartbroken. They've been paying for me to study dance all of my life. And they literally just looked me in the eye and said, okay, whatever you need. They trusted me. And from that minute on, I think I decided that I really need to back myself to make my own decisions. And I did feel like I was pressured from the college into going to university. And it was the biggest mistake I ever made, because for me it was just a cost that I didn't need to incur. So then obviously when I got to making that decision and I left, I felt so relieved that the future and what was to come was ultimately my decision, and what path I took from that point on was ultimately down to me. I felt like I craved adult interaction in a weird way. I felt like being at uni still felt like I was around kids that were just having a lot of fun, which was great, and I did enjoy that side of it for the few short months that I was there, but I really wanted to get into the world of work, and I felt like I was craving that, and I wanted to learn more about the world than what I was actually able to learn at uni. So for me it was just about getting a job, ultimately just to earn money initially, but yeah, that was definitely the case. I felt that I was basically 3 to 4 years into my career by the time all of my friends were leaving uni. I was years into working world, years into moving up salary brackets, years into experience that a lot of my friends leaving uni were just starting off on their career ladders. So for me, it was very, very beneficial. I felt like I learned so much more being around other people in the working world that I would have learned in a classroom. The way that my nature is and the way that I am as a person, I find more value in real world experiences, and I really enjoy learning from people, and I'm not necessarily an academic in the traditional sense. I don't study well. I never revised when I was at school. I really struggled with all of that. I was rubbish in exams. I definitely get a lot more value out of learning from people and being mentored by people, and I've been very, very lucky in my last 13 years of my career that I've had lots of people that I can learn from. I happen to know, because we've obviously recruited lots of team members here from universities, that there are some amazing courses out there, and for those who need to learn the fundamentals of marketing, I definitely don't disagree that going to uni is a great experience and you will learn a lot. But for me personally, I feel like being on the shop floor, as it is, in terms of learning from client experiences and learning from those around us, is much more valuable. There are so many options in this day and age with regards to apprenticeships, and agencies like ours at our size are quite keen to bring in fresh young talent that are willing to learn and to learn the way that we like things to be done. So I think it's more a case of just considering all your options. Don't feel pressured from what society suggests that you should do. I think the reality of where we are in the world now, the media has so much influence over the decisions that we make, and you see when the results come out in the summer, you see, you know, all these media outlets interviewing students, and they don't say to them, so, you know, what are you doing next? They say, what university are you going to? And it's so unhealthy. And, you know, I'm on a bit of a one-man mission to make sure that people understand that there are other options available, and we as an agency certainly are advocates of that. So some of our most senior people in the business didn't go to uni or dropped out like I did. So certainly just consider all your options, and I'm always sort of here for some advice if anyone needs any of that. For me, some advice around sort of how you stand out in the recruitment process would be that it's all about the tone in which you approach people. Don't just send your CV on email, because obviously when somebody's sifting through those CVs, the reality is, you know, they're going to look for some level of qualification to help you stand out from the rest. For me, it's all about personable approach. So contacting someone on LinkedIn, you know, contacting someone on their Instagram or via a more personable channel, knocking on the door of an agency and asking to speak to somebody, being super personable and showing how ambitious you are. The only way you get stand out right now, whether, you know, you've been to uni or not, is by doing something different. You know, just firing CVs into HR email addresses is not gonna allow you to stand out. You need to show somebody, if you're only 18, 19 years of age, you need to really ensure that you show them that you're hungry, passionate, willing to learn, and for me, that's how you're going to stand out.